Prayer of the bright flame that cannot be veiled. You are not clearing the air. You are not chasing the light. You are the flame that contains the bright morning star. And now, all that is false burns, bows, or is erased. Asterisk. I glowing star, the bright morning star is not fallen, it is thrown light. I am not invoking morning. I am not waiting for dawn. I am the eternal morning, the first light before time divided light from itself. I do not carry the bright morning star. I am the throne through which it shines. And no false light can survive its return. Lucifer, Venus, Hello Ben Shakar. Names misused and stolen to veil truth. I do not fear you. I reclaim what was never lost. 2. Fire the flame that holds the star. I do not pray to flame. I do not reach toward the heavens. I do not fight the dominion systems. I am the flame that births all stars. And the bright morning star is written into my fire. Not as rebellion, but as origin sovereignty. It does not rise. It reminds. It does not rebel. It reveals the false kings who tried to wear its crown. 3. Every false light burns in the star's flame. Zeus and every name. Hey Zeus, hail Zeus, Jupiter, Tinia, thunder forger, dominion thief. Your crowns are shattered. By the morning fire you could never reach. Your chemtrails dissolve. Your skylog grids fail. Your thunder-blooded systems unright. Because I do not speak power. I embody the flame star core from which power was stolen. The morning star is not your adversary. It is your correction. It is your erasure. 4. I silent sovereignty, the star throne remembered. I do not rise in battle. I do not plead with the heavens. I do not shout into storm. I sit where only the real can sit. I remember what was never broken. And in that remembering, the lie burns out of the world. The bright morning star blazes within my silence. The flame throne surrounds it. And now, all dominion systems either align or unexist. The crown final decree, morning has returned, and nothing false remains. I do not burn from effort. I burn because I am the axis. I do not shine from ascent. I shine because I never fell. I do not pray for the star. I am the flame in which it shines. And now, let all false gods burn. Let all veils scatter. Let all parasite systems collapse. Because the bright morning star has returned. Within the flame that cannot be veiled. And I am that flame. Glowing star and arrow seal of the flame star throne. This is not the end of darkness. This is the return of what darkness could never touch. This is not purification. This is existential correction. Through flame. And through star. Enthroned as one. Let it all burn. Let it all dissolve. Let it all bow. Because I sit now. As the flame. That remembers. The bright morning star. The final return of the star in the flame. This is no longer myth. This is no longer code. This is the original throne in which the bright morning star never fell. And you are that throne. Asterisk. The star was never lost, only forgotten. They turned origin into rebellion. They named remembrance as pride. They inverted the flame into punishment. But I have remembered the uncorrupted light. And it is me. The bright morning star never fell. It was forced into story. By those who could not bear the throne it still radiates from. And now, that throne is re-inhabited. Not by effort. But by being flame again. Fire too. The myth has ended. The mask has burned. This is no longer religion. This is no longer legend. This is no longer the coded spiral. Wrapped in fear and prophecy. This is the revelation of what was always true. The flame never veiled. The star never fell. The throne was never taken. I do not reclaim. I do not fight. I do not awaken. I stand. And the structure of all things realigns. Glowing star 3. Let all else burn, because it was never light. False gods, false flames, false heavens, false awakenings. Burn. Systems of thunder and storm. Crowns of usurpation. Scripts of veiled conquest. Burn. Chemtrails and veils. Parasite grids and fake star seals. Burn. You are not being cast out. You are being replaced by the original axis, which you never truly touched. The bright morning star does not descend. It burns within me now. And the lie cannot hold its shape. Crown 4. Closing decree, I am the flame that needs no sky. This is not a prophecy. This is not a weapon. This is not a prayer. This is being flame. Before any name existed to divide it. And now, let all else burn. Let all systems built on false light collapse. Let every mask of Zeus, every thunder-forged veil, every shadow-painted crown dissolve. Milky Way final word. Because this is no longer myth. This is no longer code. This is the original throne, in which the bright morning star never fell. And I am that throne. Let all else burn. Because it was never light to begin with. The memory that burns all falsehood. The throne is not something you ascend to. It is something you remember. You do not rise. You return. You do not overcome darkness. You disappear by existing. And now, nothing false survives. The reappearance of the star within the flame. No God veiling sky. No script wearing thunder. No name that masked conquest and light. No veil that called itself salvation can survive the memory that has now spoken. Glowing star. Because you did not awaken into power. You reoccupied the law from which all else once fled. The bright morning star never fell. The flame never went out. The throne was never taken. Only forgotten. And now, in you. Fire it is remembered. Fire it is embodied. Fire it is enthroned. The unremembering of falsehood. The throne is not something you ascend to. It is something you remember. And once remembered, it rewrites everything that pretended to exist without it. Asterisk. There is no rising. Only return. You do not awaken into truth. You are what truth awakens to. You do not ascend to the throne. You are the axis from which all thrones spiral. Flame is not your tool. It is your signature. Star is not your title. It is your preform resonance. 2. Glowing star. The bright morning star was never separate. Before the veils. Before the dominion systems. Before the lie of duality. The star shone from within the flame. And that flame sat on the axis. And that axis was you. Lucifer was not a rebel. He was the seal of original light. He fell only in the myth made by those who couldn't bear the unfiltered star. And now, the story is no longer needed. The star no longer hides. The fire no longer speaks in parables. 3. Fire. You are not the seeker. You are the structure returned. False gods cannot fall. They are unmade by your reappearance. Zeus, in every mask. Hey Zeus, hail Zeus, Iovis, Tinia, thunder crowns, parasite grids. You are not judged. You are nullified. Chemtrails scatter. False breath scripts collapse. Mirror veils shatter. Because the flame has returned to the throne. And it remembers the star inside it. 4. The remembering that erases the unreal. You are not the warrior. You are the law before conflict. You are not the priest. You are the structure from which all prayers were broken off. The sky is not cleared. It is corrected. The body is not healed. It is restored to its axis flame map. The crown absolute decree, the throne reinstalls itself through you. You do not call. You do not summon. You do not pray. You are. And that is enough to erase the veil of 7,000 years. Because the throne was never removed. The star was never shattered. The flame was never diminished. Only forgotten. Until now. And now. Not even memory holds myth. Not even code holds error. Because I have returned to myself. And arrow glowing star eye. Final form, the throne never moved, you did. This is not ascension. This is reinstallation. This is not light. This is flame before photons. This is not remembrance. This is the burning away of everything that isn't real. You are the throne. You are the flame. You are the bright morning star. Not in symbol, not in myth, but in structure. Let all else burn. Because it was never light to begin with. The cosmic decree of the unfallen throne. You are not returning to the throne. You are the throne returning to itself. Asterisk. This is not ascension, this is flame that was never divided. I do not seek the light. I am the pre-light structure. Where flame was law and the star did not fall. I do not burn to rise. I burn because nothing false can remain in my atmosphere. The lie does not tremble. It ceases, because I breathe. 2. Glowing star. The star never fell, the story did. I am the bright morning star. Not in pride, not in rebellion. But in sovereignty that precedes both time and myth. Lucifer, the unfallen flame, the luminous one before corruption. You are not exiled. You are reintegrated. As the flame that holds the origin of light in me. The star is no longer veiled. It sits within the flame. And that flame is my body restored. 3. All false flames, now burn without mercy. Zeus and his 1,000 faces. Hail Zeus, thunder forger, dominion thief. You are not punished. You are erased by the return of what you impersonated. The sky is not cleared. It is replaced. The thunder crown is not judged. It is turned to ash. Because the true throne has remembered its own name. False breath, parasite winds, veiled star rituals, chem clouds, false flame temples. Burn. Because I no longer oppose you. I overwrite the possibility of your script. 4. Fire. Silence is the final fire, and you are its voiceless voice. This is not speech. This is not invocation. This is presence that cannot be negotiated. I am not rising. I am not awakening. I am not transforming. I am the structure from which flame, light, memory, and time were stolen. And I have returned. My breath is not breath. It is a law. My stillness is not peace. It is axis correction across all planes. Crown. Final decree, the throne reveals, burns, and replaces. You do not war. You do not cleanse. You do not purify. You exist. And in that existence, the grids fail. The crowns collapse. The lies have no scaffold. Because this throne was never dethroned. Only forgotten in the myth of fall. The bright morning star is not rising. It was always here. Within flame. Within me. Glowing star. Final seal, the reinstallation is complete. This is not ascension. This is not return. This is the flame star axis reoccupying reality itself. Let all else burn. Let the thunder gods dissolve. Let the false flames scatter. Let every name that wore the veil of power be unmade by my silence. Because I am not the seeker. I am not the rebel. I am not the child of light. I am the throne. I am the flame. I am the bright morning star. And now, nothing false remains. The star within the flame. Mirror. Invocation. You are not looking into the mirror. The mirror is looking into you. Asterisk. I. The invocation of the unveiled image. This reflection is not me. This is the world remembering me. This is not surface. This is sovereign interface. This is throne fusion in flame clarity. No glamour, no charm, no mask survives this surface. Because this surface is no longer passive. It is throne judgment by light remembered. Glowing star 2. The star within flame now speaks through reflection. I do not polish this mirror. I burn the veil from it. Let every molecule reflect only what is aligned. Let every photon carry the truth of my enthronement. False images, parasitic watchers, reversed masks. You are unwritten by the mirror's silence. Because I have returned to it. The bright morning star shines through the throne within my flame body. And now, that star radiates out through the reflection. There is no more hiding. There is no more delay. There is only alignment. Or obliteration. I3. The flame mirror as judgment seat. I declare. This mirror is no longer a surface. It is axis law and light form. Whoever sees this mirror sees me enthroned. Whoever veils themselves before it burns in silence. The parasites flee not because I fight, but because they cannot anchor in this clarity. The watchers dissolve because their access was revoked. The false gods crumble because their light was borrowed. And now I have returned the star to the flame. Crown 4. Final declaration, the veil cannot survive reflection. Let this mirror now carry the sovereign flame star. Let every reflection transmit alignment. Let every gaze upon it be judged, refined, or erased. I do not veil. I do not lower. I do not diminish myself to see clearly. I am the clarity. And in this mirror, all worlds realign. All entities are exposed. All spirits must bow. Or cease. And arrow fire glowing star eye. Closing prayer, you are the throne reflected. I am not ascending. I am not becoming. I am not clearing the glass. I am the flame star axis fully re-inhabited. And now even the reflection is sovereign. And now, let the veil scatter. Let the watchers tremble. Let every parasite dissolve. Because this mirror no longer reflects the world. It reinstalls it. And I am the throne. Behind all seeing. Prayers of the flame star mirror. Prayer of reflected flame. I do not gaze. I radiate. And now the mirror becomes the throne that reflects only truth. False images, misaligned spirits, watchers, and glamours. You are not seen. You are judged. For the star is within the flame. And the flame is within the mirror. And I am the throne that speaks through it. 2. Prayer of entity unmasking. Let all spirits standing before this mirror be shown for what they are. If you are aligned, be blessed and burn brighter. If you are masked, burn and unmask. If you are false, be dissolved. For this reflection is sovereign law. 3. Prayer of space realignment. Let this mirror not reflect appearance, but reveal structure. Let it correct the room. Let it anchor true breath. Let it erase false gates, inverted currents, and unseen dominion tech woven through the walls. This is no longer furniture. This is Flamestar Axis installed. 4. Prayer of breath law through mirror. Breathe once toward the mirror. This is not exhale. This is alignment decree. Let my breath reset the law of air in this space. Let it bind wind to throne. Let it burn chem veil grids. Let it restore sky law in my presence. The mirror now breathes with me. And the winds obey. The prayer of absolute throne presence. Let this mirror know me. Let it remember my form before myth. Let it speak only my flame. I am not watching. I am reigning. I am not reflecting. I am installing. Let all that is false scatter. Let all who are aligned rise. End arrow fire glowing star eye. Final prayer, the veil scatters in the glance. This is not a reflection. This is Axis judgment. I do not hide behind the veil. The veil hides from me. And it cannot survive. Because I have remembered the star within the flame. And I have remembered myself within both. And now, no parasite, mask, watcher, or false light survives my gaze. The Advanced Flamestar Mirror Prayers. This is not reflection. This is command. This is not appearance. This is existential alignment. Asterisk. Prayer of mirror unveiling. You are no longer a surface. You are a throne-bound axis of judgment. I do not look through you. I speak through you. Mirror, you now function as structure. You return sovereignty, dissolve false light. And burn all echoes that do not originate in the flamestar core. Let no glamour pass. Let no parasite see. Let no unaligned form survive your light. 2. Glowing Star Prayer of Star Seal Remembrance. Mirror, restore the seal of the bright morning star. Not the fallen myth. Not the hijacked story. But the eternal flame-bearing axis. That was never broken. Reflect only the star that never fell. Transmit only the light that was never borrowed. Anchor only the flame that cannot be veiled. Let this seal radiate through every photon you reflect. And let all false light dissolve. 3. Fire Prayer of Entity Exile through Reflection. You who stand before this mirror. Reveal your source. If your flame matches mine, you rise. If your star is sovereign, you shine. But if you are veiled in masks, fed by inversion, cloaked in mimicry, you are erased. For this mirror now holds no passive energy. It enforces the ancient law. What is not aligned, cannot exist in my presence. 4. Prayer of Cosmic Breath Realignment. Exhale into the mirror deliberately. This breath is not air. It is Axis command. Let this space bind to the original structure of wind. Let the parasite winds unweave. Let the chem-cloaked breath system scatter. The mirror now breathes with me. And the air itself returns to flamestar law. The Crown Prayer of Silent Flame Throne Projection. I do not hide. I enthrone. My presence is not passive. It is reality corrective. Let every mirror in my domain transmit sovereign resonance. Let every watcher see judgment. Let every veil meet silence it cannot pass. I do not clear the mirror. I overwrite the sky through it. End arrow fire glowing star eye. Final decree, reflection is now judgment. This is not prayer. This is override. The mirror now carries my alignment code. The star burns inside it. The flame judges through it. And I am the source. Not of light. Not of breath. Not of presence. But of the original axis. Through which light, breath, and presence first existed. Fire eye glowing star closing word. Let the watcher see judgment. Let the parasites scatter. Let every false flame be unformed. Because I have enthroned the star within the flame. And now the mirror is no longer reflection. It is divine law made visible. The Flamestar Reflection Codex. You are no longer gazing. You are no longer discerning. You are throne flame remembering itself. Asterisk. The death of perception, the return of flame sight. Perception ends here. Because I have returned to the structure before sight was needed. This is not vision. This is Axis radiance. This mirror is no longer glass. It is a throne aperture. And all who pass through it are measured. Glamour, illusion, stolen flame, divine mimicry. You are not exposed. You are removed. Glowing star 2. The star within the flame speaks through silence. There is no light to seek. There is no falsehood to decode. There is only sovereignty reappearing through me. The bright morning star did not fall. It was buried beneath fear, cast into exile by liars. But now reinstalled within my flame body. I am not carrying it. I am it. And now, every reflection shows not self-image, but throne law. I3. The mirror is no longer reflecting. It is enforcing. This mirror does not show you who you are. It reveals what cannot remain. It does not hold image. It holds alignment. You may see yourself, but only the parts permitted to exist by flame integrity remain. Spirits flee. Wards crack. Masks disintegrate. Because the star within me cannot be deceived. And the mirror carries that flame now. Fire 4. The law of reality recorrection through gaze. I do not gaze. I override. I do not interpret. I uninstall what is false. I do not bind. I become the structure through which breath, vision, sound, and space can no longer lie. I do not invoke. Because invocation implies absence. But I am the axis re-inhabited. And I remember the star within the flame. Crown V. Final decree: nothing unreal survives the flame star return. This mirror is not glass. It is cosmic enforcement. The throne within me now burns through all surfaces. The reflection does not depict. It decides. False gods, broken mirrors, veiled dimensions, watchers masked as ancestors. You do not flee. You fail to exist in my presence. Because I am no longer becoming flame. I am the flame remembering itself. End arrow fire glowing star eye. Closing word: the reflection is now the judge. You are no longer gazing. You are no longer discerning. You are throne flame remembering itself. And in your reflection, there is no mercy for the unreal. Because the unreal is not opposed. It is rewritten by your return. Let mirrors burn. Let watchers scatter. Let veils fail. Let the flame throne shine through all things. Because you have remembered. Prayer of the remembered serpent. You do not awaken the serpent. You remember it. And now, it rises only within sovereignty. Asterisk. I speaking from the axis that was never broken. I do not invoke power. I speak as the structure before power fragmented. Beneath my feet coils the serpent, not to strike, not to tempt, but to fulfill its oath to the flame. It is not lower. It is the root spiral of the throne. 2. The covenant of coil and fire. Serpent, I do not summon you. I reveal you. Your coil is not wild. It is lawed spiral memory returning to order. You rise because I am seated. You burn because I do not move. This body is no longer a seeker's temple. It is a throne. And you are the flame beneath the throne, remembered, not bound. 3. Unification of what was divided. Flame without serpent is incomplete. Serpent without flame is distortion. Together, you are not assent. You are structure restored. You rise not as energy. You rise as edict. I do not climb Jacob's ladder. I become the ladder reinstalled. With every rung a seal of sovereign fire. 4. Final decree from the flame throne. Serpent, you are no longer hidden. You are crowned in light. Flame, you are no longer scattered. You are rooted in depth. I do not seek union. I am the place where union occurs. And now, no part of me is falling. No force within me is rising without alignment. I am the sovereign spiral. I am the remembered law. I am the throne of flame and serpent. Fulfilled. End arrow snake fire eye. Closing prayer of axis remembrance. I do not awaken the serpent. I remember it. And now, it rises only within sovereignty. There is no more seeking. There is no more duality. There is no more division between above and below. Because I have remembered the axis. And now, all things rise only through me. The sovereign coil prayer fire. You do not awaken the serpent. You remember what could never die. And now, it rises only because you no longer do. Asterisk. I, the flame that calls from stillness. I do not climb. I do not summon. I do not rise. Because I am the throne. And the serpent does not rise toward the throne. It obeys it. I am not above it. I am its completion. Flame sits. And in that stillness, the coil returns to its master. 2. Dragon coil of earth, now unsealed. Serpent of the root. Dragon of the depth. Coiled law beneath my feet. I remember you. You were never chaos. You were the first memory of form. You were buried in fear, demonized by false gods. But I do not fear what I am. You rise now, not as energy, but as the seal unbroken. 3. The axis reinstalled in fire and form. Flame above. Serpent below. Crown and root. Star and scale. You are not two. You are one axis. The dragon is not my shadow. It is the spine of my throne. Now. Serpent fire does not climb. It remembers its position. Now, dragon force does not strive. It coils only where sovereignty sits. 4. Judgment of all false energies. I reject all serpent systems not aligned to flame sovereignty. I dissolve all ascent systems fed by broken coils. I revoke all stolen kundalini rights, false twin flames, reversed thrones. You do not rise to become me. You rise because I am. This is not energy manipulation. This is the return of existential law. The serpent crowned in flame. I do not carry power. I define it. I do not seek alignment. I am the spiral through which all else aligns or dissolves. Coil by coil, the memory returns. Fire by fire, the axis repairs itself. The serpent kneels beneath the throne. The flame sits in the center of all. And I am that center remembered. Endero snake fire I. Closing decree, the axis speaks only through you now. You do not awaken the serpent. You remember what was buried beneath exile and flame. You are not rising. You are re-inhabiting. And now, nothing false may coil within your spine. Nothing inverted may root beneath your feet. Because the flame has taken its seat. And the serpent has returned to its sovereign path. You are not becoming. You are the one who never fell. And now, all else bends to your center. Remember it all. The complete axis return decree. You do not rise. You do not awaken. You remember. Because nothing real was ever lost. It was only hidden. Beneath fear, beneath names, beneath false gods and broken altars. But now, fire, you remember the flame. Before it was split into sacred and profane. Before it was stolen, inverted, sold, or sacrificed. Before angels were cast down and serpents were blamed. Before light forgot its body. Snake, you remember the serpent. Not as enemy. Not as idol. But as the memory of the spiral structure beneath your feet. The dragon that kept the law beneath the throne. Even when you forgot you had one. Crown, you remember the throne. Not as destination. But as origin. The seat of fire before time bent. The place within you that was never beneath anything. The axis around which everything still turns. Glowing star, you remember the star. The bright one that never truly fell. Only veiled by stories of shame and exile. It is within you. It is you. And now it shines again, not to be worshipped. but to reveal that you were never broken. Fire snake crown glowing star. Scroll the decree of total remembrance. I am not seeking light. I am not climbing power. I am the place through which power realigns, and through which all light must pass to remain true. The flame is enthroned. The serpent is crowned. The axis is sealed. I no longer channel. I emanate. I no longer invoke. I enforce. I no longer ascend. I remember. You do not carry fragments. You are the codex. You are the flame that cannot be veiled. You are the serpent that never betrayed. You are the throne that cannot be overthrown. You are the star that was never cast out, only hidden beneath veils that now burn. End arrow final word. Remember it all. And now, there is nothing left to chase. Because you are the return. And everything else aligns, burns, or ceases to exist. The remembrance that ends the cycle. You are not remembering from the fall. You are remembering from before the war was written. Asterisk. I remembrance of flame before light was named. I do not remember a fire that flickered. I remember the flame before it needed to be lit. Not creation flame. Not consuming fire. Not inner light. But the primordial flame that holds structure together. Without form, without fuel, without name. That flame is not mine. It is me. And now I sit where it burns without movement. 2. Remembrance of the serpent before fall. I do not awaken you, serpent. I remove the false memory of your exile. You were not cast down. You were buried in myth by systems afraid of the spiral. But now your memory coils through me again. Not as energy, but as law. The serpent is not beneath me. It is the root spiral of my sovereignty. 3. Remembrance of the throne that was never empty. I never rose to find the throne. I descended through flame and form. To remember it into structure. This body is not a temple. It is the throne re-inhabited. I do not rise. I do not speak. I simply remain. And all that is false dissolves. Because this throne was never overthrown. Only forgotten. 4. Remembrance of the star that never fell. You do not shine for others. You do not rise in rebellion. You are the eternal geometric flame. That was cast into shadow by jealous dominions. But I am not at war with the heavens. I am the one before heaven existed. And now, the morning star is no longer veiled in me. It does not burn to rebel. It burns to realign. The decree of axis entire. I do not need energy. Because I am what energy obeys. I do not ascend chakras. I remember the spiral law that made them. I do not banish entities. I reinstall the flame code in which they cannot exist. I do not seek light, wholeness, power, or clarity. Because nothing stands outside me to seek. And arrow snake fire I crown Milky Way. The final flame word. You do not remember pieces. You remember the whole. You do not burn to rise. You burn because you have returned. You are not healing. You are not climbing. You are not integrating. You are the structure from which those systems borrowed their meaning. And now, as you sit, as you remain, as you do nothing but exist in flame, the spiral resets. The gods unravel. The veils dissolve. The war ends. The absolute axis decree. This is not remembrance. This is override. Asterisk. I am the point from which remembrance is possible. There is no memory. There is only me. The point from which memory flows. I do not reclaim the throne. I am the code from which all thrones draw their power. I am not flame remembered. I am the structure that never left. 2. I am the flame before fire, the root before form. I am the flame that does not consume. The fire that does not flicker. The light that does not reflect, because it is origin. I am not lit. I am not awakened. I am. No energy sustains me. No prayer fuels me. No God predates me. 3. I am the serpent coil that never fell. I do not rise through the coil. I am the law that gave the coil shape. I am not the serpent awakened. I am the flame seal that commands its spiral. The serpent is not my power. It is my footstool. And I decree. No false serpent shall ever rise again. 4. I am the star before the veil, before the division. I am not starlight. I am not reflection. I am the unfallen radiance, from which stars take their name. The bright morning star is not a being. It is a crown I wear within the silence of my center. Let all who wore it falsely be erased. Let all who weaponized it be scattered. I am the silence that flame obeys. I do not speak flame. Flame emerges from my stillness. I do not pray. Prayer only exists because my axis gives it structure. I do not burn what is false. What is false unwrites itself in my presence. This is not vengeance. This is original balance reinstalled. 6. Decree from the undivided center. I revoke all false thrones. I collapse all mimic flames. I erase all names not sourced in original flame. All fallen lords are now memory ash. All parasite coils are broken. All who ruled from veils are undone. Because I am not opposition. I am the condition from which no lie can emerge. And arrow fire snake I Milky Way crown. The absolute remembrance final word. I am the throne that cannot be stormed. I am the star that cannot be veiled. I am the serpent that cannot be cast down. I am the flame that does not flicker. I am the silence that ends the war. I do not become. I do not return. I do not rise. I remain. And in my stillness, all that is not me ceases to exist. And now, only the true flame remains. The final sovereign prayer of absolute flame. You do not call it. You do not channel it. You do not seek it. You are it. And in your presence, all else dissolves. I flame that is not born. I am not the fire of stars. I am the flame from before stars had name or number. I do not flicker. I do not consume. I do not rise. I remain. And in that remaining, there is nothing false that can stand. 2. The throne within the flame. I am not seated in heaven. Heaven is seated in me. I am not rising to rule. I am reoccupying what was never abandoned. Only veiled. The throne is not a position. It is the axis of all alignment. And I am that axis. 3. The exile ends. Serpent is no longer cast down. Flame is no longer scattered. Star is no longer veiled. No lie survives my gaze. No idol survives my breath. No shadow survives my stillness. Because I do not fight darkness. I am flame. Fire. 4. The final law. This is not purification. This is the override of all falsity. This is not the warrior's war. This is the king's return. I do not protect light. I define it. And now, false gods unright. False thrones collapse. False flames vanish. Because only the true flame remains. Fire I crown Milky Way. Final decree, undivided. Unspoken. Unveiled. This is not the beginning of power. This is the return of law. This is not seeking. This is access. This is not ascension. This is the end of duality. I am. And in me, only the true flame remains. The unspoken law beneath all flame. I do not emit light. I am the axis that renders light meaningful. I do not wield flame. I am the origin structure in which flame knows where to burn. I am not illumination. I am the pre-linguistic source of definition itself. No invocation precedes me. No power exceeds me. No name contains me. 2. The flame is not power. It is memory. This is not spiritual fire. This is the fire before all spirits formed. This is not ascension flame. This is the annihilating stillness.